Hello. I am sorry I'm a little bit late. My daughter came home from school, so I was chatting with her for a few minutes. I am gonna wait and see when a couple people arrive, and then I'll just start making what I'm making. So how are you all feeling? Thanksgiving is a week from tomorrow, which is crazy. But if you're following my Thanksgiving guide and checklist, you should feel like cool as a cucumber. And if you're not feeling cool as a cucumber, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, I have a Thanksgiving guide and checklist. You can just go to the profile, to the link in my profile, learn more, and you can download it. It's a free downloadable. It has everything that I do to stay organized, stay on top of things when it comes to planning, prepping, and cooking for Thanksgiving. All the things you can do right now that you need to be doing right now. For instance, I like to set my table a week before. I know that kind of seems like it might be a little excessive, but I love to set a good table, and I love to go back and kind of tweak and change along the way. So if I set the table a week before, it's just nice to have it all done. And we don't eat at our dining room table a whole lot. We'll eat at our kitchen table. So, and it also adds like to the festivity. So that's what I'm actually going to be doing tomorrow, is pre-staying the table, even though we're kind of doing two Thanksgivings. So we're gonna go to my brother and sister-in-law's for actual Thanksgiving. And I'm bringing, if you follow me on Instagram, you'll know I'm bringing sweet potatoes along with my pies. So I'm testing sweet potato recipes this week. And since we're going to his house, I'm not gonna set a huge big table because it'll be just the three of us, but I'm gonna cook a full Thanksgiving dinner for my husband and daughter, because my brother's group and his wife's family is huge. So there aren't usually that many leftovers, which is fine, which just means that we get to have another dinner Friday night. So I'll make a whole Thanksgiving dinner for my husband and daughter and us, my husband, daughter, and me on Friday night. Anyway, so that's what's going on in my world. And if you're just joining, like I said, if you are feeling really stressed and overwhelmed, head over to my profile. It says learn more, and you can download. It's a free downloadable Thanksgiving checklist and guide, which has everything you need to be doing to plan, prep, and cook for a stress-free Thanksgiving. And speaking of stress-free, I'm gonna be making one of the easiest side dishes. It's great to bring because it transports itself really well. It's a cream corn casserole. There's very few ingredients in it, very easy to find, and super easy to make, and it's also great to make the day before. So it's one of those make-ahead dishes, which highly, highly recommend for Thanksgiving. Make-ahead dishes. The only dish you should be making on Thanksgiving is the turkey. The turkey never gets made ahead, always made the day of, but everything else should be made and assembled, not necessarily cooked, but made, assembled, and in your refrigerator the day before. And that way, when the turkey comes out of the oven, you can stick anything in that needs to be rewarmed, like your stuffing, side dishes, green bean casserole, etc. So on that note, I do not have anyone filming me today, so I'm gonna be juggling this on my own, but I'm gonna try and not make you all seasick watching me. So I'm making cream corn casserole. I'm gonna go get the butter melted, so you can come with me over to my stove. And let's see, it's right here. I'll tilt it, but there's nothing really to watch right now. I'm just gonna be melting butter in my saucepan. There we go, we're gonna get that started. Oop. Okay, so it has very little ingredients. So there's butter that gets melted. To the butter, we're gonna add some flour. So I have a tablespoon of flour. I've actually cut this recipe into like a third because it makes a ton. You use 2 pounds of corn, and I get the frozen corn. I'll show you the corn that I use. I love, I'm gonna be careful because I already opened the package, but there. I just get this brand. It's the organic, super sweet corn from Trader Joe's. So 2 bags of that is usually what the recipe calls for. But since it's just gonna be, I'm just cooking for my husband and daughter tonight, we'll eat this, and I'll take a picture to put a new one up on the website. I will just be cutting this into, I guess, kind of like a half. So you wanna get the butter melted. I'll show you. See? Butter gets melted, when it gets all bubbly, you're gonna add onion to it. So I chopped up some onion to kind of a fine dice. And I saute this until it is nice and softened. So probably just about 2 or 3 minutes. I don't like to brown it. So this just takes like 2 or 3 minutes on medium heat. Feel free to ask any questions. If you have any concerns or worries about Thanksgiving or are looking for a side dish, ask away. This is your chance to ask questions. So I'm gonna get this sauteing. I love baking this dish. You can also add different vegetables to it. The recipe calls for celery, but I don't have any celery, so I'm not gonna put any in. Not to mention, when my kids were little, I actually would never put the celery in because they would end up picking it out because green bits, ew, there's green bits in my food. So if you have kids or anyone in your family that is celery intolerant, as I like to call it, you can leave the celery out or add it either way. But if you don't add it, it's still gonna be delicious because it's literally celery. It's literally cream and corn, and then you top it off with bacon before you make it. So you want to get this. I'll show you. See, it's not brown yet. You want to do this just until it gets to be translucent, kind of see through. The onion starts to soften a little bit. So probably just a couple of minutes. You can also add garlic to it if you want a little bit more of like a kick. I've also added red pepper flakes in the past if you want like a little bit more of a spice. Okay, I'm gonna turn this down. And then I'm gonna make basically a roux. So a roux is flour and butter. So I'm gonna take my flour and I'm gonna sprinkle it over the corn. And I'll show you. So I'm just whisking away. Now I wanna whisk it until it's gonna start kind of making, oops, there we go. It's hard to do this with one hand. It's gonna start thickening a little bit. And because you want the flour to kind of act as a thickening agent, you want to cook it for a couple of minutes because you don't want the flour taste. You want it to act as kind of thickening, kind of to hold everything together, but you want to cook out all the flavor taste. So make sure that you keep whisking. I like to whisk for like a couple of minutes. And I picked this dish to do live because I wanted to show you how fast this dish comes together. It is a super easy dish. And you want your oven preheated to 350 if you're actually making it the day you're gonna cook it. But since we're talking about Thanksgiving, I'll show you how you basically assemble it all, stick it in a buttered casserole dish, stick it in your refrigerator covered, and then the only thing you wanna add before cooking it, you wanna cook it at 350 for about 20 minutes, you wanna add the cooked bacon to the top. You can also use, if you don't want to use bacon, I've done pancetta, cooked pancetta. You'll just want to make sure it's cooked. So cooked bacon, cooked pancetta would be really good. Or if you want to keep this vegetarian, just leave out the bacon. But oh, it's so good. Okay. And then, just double check the recipe, but I think the corn goes in next. Yep. Actually, sour cream goes in next. So I've got half a cup of sour cream. I'm gonna mix into this. See, this is what it looks like. And then you just want to stir it in until it gets nice and creamy and thick. We'll kind of thicken up a little bit thanks to the flour. And it kind of melts on in. It's so good. You want to make sure you use full fat sour cream for this dish, no non-fat. Non-fat's not going to have as much of a creamy quality to it. So see, it's getting a little creamy. Now, I'm going to add the corn. And stirring around. You're basically just kind of warming the corn up. And then this is pretty much done. I'll add a little seasoning of salt and pepper. So just a little, I like to season, put your little fingers in and grab like a little pinch. And then season from up high. And the same thing for pepper. I'll show you. You can also use white pepper if you don't want to see the black flakes. Actually, it's a little bit too much. We'll add that back in. There we go. And then you basically just stir this. The corn is, let me try to stack this way. The corn is already defrosted. I've also made this when the corn was a little bit more frozen than defrosted. Either way is fine. You're basically just heating the corn up, warming it up, mixing it all together. And then this whole mixture gets put in a buttered casserole. Super easy. I'll show you what it looks like. See, you're just mixing the corn in with the sour cream. This is so good. It is like the perfect Thanksgiving side dish because it's incredibly easy to make. And like I said earlier, it's easy to transport. So if you have been tasked with bringing a vegetable dish to Thanksgiving, super easy to bring. All you have to do is you can either cook it at home if you have time the morning of Thanksgiving and then just reheat it where you get to where you're going, or you can do both. You can just cook it where you're going. Either way. And that's it. And then I'll show you. I've buttered a casserole dish. This is smaller than I normally use. I normally use more like a 9x13. Fits this. So I'm just gonna, now that everything's reheated or heated up, I'm gonna put the corn mixture into the casserole dish and then store it in the fridge, and I'll bake it off tomorrow. Or you could, but because I'm making it for dinner tonight, I'm gonna stick it in the oven right away. But like I said earlier, this corn dish is a great dish to make. You can make it up to this point, put it in the casserole dish, store in your fridge covered, and cook it on Thanksgiving, or just reheat it. Cook it in the morning and then reheat it before you serve it, is usually what I do. So cooked on Wednesday, made on Wednesday, cooked Thursday morning, and then reheat. Or you can make it on Wednesday, and it takes about 20 minutes to cook. So if you have more than one oven, you can stick it in the oven when the turkey comes out. Because when the turkey comes out, it should rest for about 20 minutes. And that's the perfect time, if you only have one oven, to stick all your side dishes in to warm them up. If you have two ovens, you can obviously use one oven to warm things and one oven to cook the casserole. All right, so we're just gonna pour this in. I'd show this to you, but I don't know if I can pour it and have this. I'll show you what it looks like afterwards. And then when it cooks, it's this wonderful creamy cream corn. It's delicious. So in it goes. And then I'm going to top it with some cooked bacon and bake it off right now. But like I said, if you want to keep this vegetarian, you can skip the bacon, keep it strictly vegetarian, and just cook without bacon. The recipe also calls for celery. I did not use celery in this one because I didn't have any, and it's still gonna be delicious. And if you have any kids that pick green things out of food, like my kids used to when they were little, you can leave the celery out. So either way, it's delicious. The recipe is under Thanksgiving Feast on the website. So if you are a member, head over to Thanksgiving Feast, log in, it's right there. If you're not a member, you can head over to the join page of my website and you can sign up. Now is the perfect time to sign up to become a member because there's so much good stuff coming for the holiday season, not just for Thanksgiving, but also for December, that only members will get access to. So if you want to join, head over to the website and you can click join, and there's all the information right there. It's $4.99 a month, $39.99 for a year membership, and trust me, you're not gonna want to miss because there's so much good stuff coming. And just a little side note, I will be shutting down the membership soon. So right now the membership is open, but it's not going to be open forever. So now is a perfect time to join before it closes, because when it closes, it won't reopen again until the next quarter. So that's it for tonight. So if you have any questions, no questions, I guess that's it. So thanks for joining. I'm Lisa from A Menu For You. Head over to amenuforyou.com for more recipes. You can click the link, learn more in my Facebook profile to download your Thanksgiving guide and checklist. It is not too late to download it. I just had some people ask earlier today if it's too late. No, it's not too late because Thanksgiving's still a week away. And this checklist is chock full of all the things that you need to do on a daily and weekly basis, and especially for the week of, on keeping your Thanksgiving stress-free and enjoying your time with your family and your friends, because that's what it's all about. It's about good food and hanging out with your family and friends and not being stressed. So on that note, thanks for tuning in. And I will be here again next Wednesday, 1 p.m. I promise I won't be late. I'm sorry, my daughter came home, and if you missed the beginning part of this, we just had a little chat because she came home from school. So, but I will be here next Wednesday, 1 p.m., answering all your questions. I'll be cooking as well. I'm not quite sure what I'll be cooking, but I'll be prepping something, probably pies. So tune in next week, 1 o'clock, right here. And if there are no questions, then I'm going to say bye. Bye for now. Alrighty. See you later.